Hello, Jared. This will be some feedback for you, video feedback for week 3, but also milestone 1. And I'll also cover your wireframes for the 4.1 discussion. I'll end with the journal entry, which was 3.1, about characterizing your client, just to remind us to focus on our hypothetical client for the class. Look forward to seeing how your website develops. Jared, your wireframes are really good. They're skeletal as they should be. You've included placement for some specific things, such as the town logo. I like the ones where you have conserved vertical space and that you don't have to scroll. I like the idea that the footer would be visible on scroll, and that's certainly something that you can do so that as you scroll down the image, the footer always remains on the screen. Footer typically has social media links. Sometimes it has another sitemap on it. In general, though, I also like the ones where the topmost area is conserved. You know, this is where the eye falls first, typically, and on the upper left here, and then to have your navigation menu range out towards the right, I think is a good idea. The viewer sees everything on the initial screen. You might want to try checking out your pages on your cell phone once you've got them uploaded, and you can access them from any device. These, I think, require more scrolling, so perhaps not so successful, especially on a wide variety of devices. And then this last one is quite. Let's see if I can move it up here to get all of it. It's quite long. Also, I like where you have used, maybe a single large image. I imagine this is a background image, indicating a background image, rather than where you have them grouped. Now, it also depends on the nature of your restaurant. If it's a family place, maybe having a lot of menu options up front is a good idea. But if it's a more tony, atmospheric place, then perhaps fewer images would be better off, and concentrate on the ambiance, perhaps, of the restaurant. Jared, I'm looking at the last URL that you gave me, and I'm looking at it in Safari for the Macintosh, and Safari has this nice ability to be able to view the code and live preview at the same time. So we have a split window here. Here's what you've created. Here's the code. Off to the left here is the public files that I can see on your website. Now notice this is for week 3. How have you organized things? It looks like you kept a mind towards organizing them. I'm not able to see your. Let's see. Do you have week 2? Just curious. No. Sorry about that. Well, I may be being sloppy. Well, the thing is that you've been able to upload an HTML file for week 3. I see some evidence of formatting. You are going to use an external style sheet, it looks like. It's not quite working yet, but this week's about inline styling. And you have applied something to the text. I would like it to be a color. This is what is this? Papyrus. This is that dreaded typeface. Okay, you probably don't want to use Papyrus. It's not one of the corporate fonts. So take a look at the corporate style guide and maybe change that. But I see that you've used red, the town corporate red, to format it. So for the styling rubric, you've met the requirements. You have added some style to a heading using the chosen client's color. Good job. And you've been able to upload it. So that's all that was required for that. Now let me go back to the milestone. Jared, I'm glad you used Adobe XD. To be honest, I haven't used it, and I see that you tried to you successfully got your sitemap, visual sitemap working. I'm assuming that this also has URLs or WURLs. I like this Venn diagram. I've never seen let me enlarge it here. I've never seen a sitemap that looks like a Venn diagram. That's really interesting to me. So I'm going to show up here. And this is a good way to see, I think, a website. I would think, though, that the root directory would probably contain the other directories. And in that, it would be folders or directories encompassed within the root directory. But I think you get the idea. Curious to see if this generates an HTML sitemap. That's going to be important too. It looks like you understand that in the form in your GeoCities submission. But you're also going to use the coded sitemap to create your unordered list, which will become your navigation. So you need to attach dummy URLs to each of your navigation links and make a list of them to begin to work on your navigation scheme. Oh, the other thing too I liked about this, Jared, was that you were able to put the wireframe up here, as in place of the home page in XD. Jared, in your journal reflection, you have identified logically the demographics based on the client information, and you've characterized them as 30 to 60s who like a personal group or event dining experience. You've identified questions to ask your focus group, and you've also identified some questions, I think, to ask the client. You want to consider kitchen staff, and think about, especially if there's online ordering, other people that you might consider in a focus group. You've identified other types of marketing to use. Think about some tools that are under our noses, such as Google Analytics, the U.S. Census. Think about Nielsen, also full of data for this kind of thing. And think forward, too, about what technological tools you would consider using or are out there. Just maybe do a little bit of research on that. It will be important. Web survey or SurveyMonkey is good for doing web surveys and collecting data, too. I look forward to seeing how your website shapes up.